Westfield.
How did we get here? This game has, somehow, sold millions of copies, made millions of pounds, racked up millions of play hours. You don't even press buttons in it. Your interaction is limited, to say the least. It looks as cheap and cheerful as its pricing suggests. The grind is unrelenting. And, well, Vampire Survivors is absolutely fantastic. But how did we get here? The year? 2005. YouTube launches in some proto-hyper-limited form with little indication of the monster it will become. Pope John Paul II dies. The word glamping is coined. But more importantly than anything else happening in 2005, the Xbox 360 launched, and among the pile of games accompanying its release was a little digital-only title costing about £3.40, $5 in your US money, and weighing in at under 50 megabytes. It was a follow-up to a secret game buried within Project Gotham Racing 2. Few outside the committed Xbox racing game contingent even knew that original thing existed, so had no reason to be excited about this sequel of sorts. And still, Geometry Wars Retro Evolved would change video games forever. The epitome of pick up and play, Bizarre's vector-graphicked twin-stick shooter slapped you into a quadrilateral arena and that was it. Go. Get the highest score you can before running out of lives. The challenge was a steady build, easing you in with your first few waves of slow-moving, aimless shape enemies to blast. But as the seconds ticked by, things escalated, and escalated, and escalated, to the point you were one of two things. Either a being of pure energy at one with the universe and all perception of motion, speed and accuracy, redefining the word grace with each passing millisecond and experiencing time in a way no other human being, living or dead, had ever done before, enjoying an existence known only to the gods themselves, as pure nirvana swept your soul away in an ever-increasing mixture of explosions and score counters. That, or you'd be dead and back on the title screen. Either way, what would happen once that particular run was over would be, pretty much without exception, the beginning of a new game. Over and over again till your thumbs couldn't feel the sticks. Bliss. Simple, straightforward, eternally engaging bliss of the most compulsive kind. But how did this ball of 400 Microsoft points worth of twin-stick shooter change video games forever, though? I said it did before, see, so I'm going back to finish off that point. The kudos goes to the Braids and Fezzers of the world for making indie games a big thing, and I'm not going to argue with that point at all. What I will argue is that Geometry Wars was the game to open the door by opening people's eyes. Expectations in 2005 might not have been as lofty as they would become in the years that followed, but the masses generally expected, or more fairly, it was believed that the masses generally expected their games to be big ol' experiences, worthy of their £40 price tag, often slapping onto them a well-known license, or at least some bleeding-edge new technique in visual design or wanton bombast. In 2005, it was believed we were done with the small games, the casual games. PopCap was relegated to the pastime of bored office workers and your mum, among her other pastimes, Boxed games in the shops were one of three things: brand new and expensive, cheaper budget re-releases of what was brand new a few years ago, and TAT that 505 Game Street published for a tenner a pop. Anything else was old hat, off the menu, unwanted. Geometry Wars Retro Evolved popped up on the same day as a brand new generation of console, and while very pretty, didn't really sell folks on this new gen of wonder and HD awe. It looked like a more intricate Vectrex game after all. And costing next to nothing as it didn't fill any of us with confidence. No major publisher would have funded the game's development had it not already seen a test run in another, bigger, more traditional and popular game on the previous console generation. And then a bit of time happened, as it tends to, and Geometry Wars basically took over the planet, at least for a bit. It was a hit. the talk of the town, by town I mean internet, with online leaderboards pitting you against your friends and the wider world, tapping into the lizard part of your brain that craves just one more go. It didn't tick any boxes for publishers. It wouldn't have received the nod from any focus group testing if you were to pit it against the big hitters of 2005, the year of God of War, Call of Duty 2, Resident Evil 4 for Salazar's sake. But that's precisely the point. Geometry Wars Retro Evolved blew away any preconceptions surrounding what it was players wanted from their games. We drifted too far into the must be big and fancy and special and cost half a ton territory, and a stern, sharp correction was needed to set us back on the right course as the game's playing public. Geometry Wars offered that correction and changed video games forever as a result. I shudder to think where we'd be today without it. Is it a direct path from Geometry Wars to Vampire Survivors? I can see arguments for yay or nay, but my flag is firmly planted in yes territory. It's not the same game. There's more than enough difference between the two that I wouldn't be surprised if the link wasn't apparent to some. But the DNA, the ethos, the power of their simplicity, the fact they're both pissy little cheapo games that shouldn't be anything particularly special, it all makes for a couple of games that are strikingly similar. Without Geometry Wars, I'm not sure we'd be in a world where Vampire Survivors exists. A world where a game that looks so lo-fi, that costs so little, that offers such limited interaction can not just survive, pun, but actually thrive. Dominate even. And it's a better world precisely because it can do so well. Both Bazaar's early frontrunner in worldwide digital domination and Ponkel's 2022 ludicrous success story are love letters to our lizard brains. They're reminders that the best games out there don't have to be endless epics consisting of ludicrously expensive cutscenes and 140 hours of tidying up icons on a minimap. The best games can be simple in concept, Spartan in presentation, and still almost 20 years later, absolutely riveting to play. So here's to Geometry Wars, Vampire Survivors, and all the other straightforward, absolute bangers. Thanks for watching, extra super mega thanks to my supporters on Patreon and, no, still nobody on YouTube memberships. Ah well, we'll still keep that going. You can join in the fun through the links below. I'm off to see if I can play both Geometry Wars and Vampire Survivors at the same time. Bye!